Quest presents an unabridged recording of The Passenger by Daniel Hurst, narrated by Deirdra Whelan and Rupert Bush. Prologue. The sound of the body going underneath the train was heard by all of those inside the station that night. A sickening combination of shattering bone and squealing brakes was not what most people were expecting to experience as they made their way along the platforms at the end of another long day. Most people heard only the sound of the screams from fellow travellers as the desperate driver brought the train to a stop as quickly as possible, but there were a few who had been unlucky enough to see the incident itself. Those unfortunate souls would be going home with several distressing pictures flashing through their minds. They would see the image of the man as he fell from the safety of the platform and down onto the hard track below. They would have the memory of the blood as it sprayed up the front of the train and across the windscreen in front of the startled driver. And it would be impossible to forget the looks of horror on the faces of their fellow witnesses who had all seen such a gruesome sight. But there was one more thing that the eyewitnesses would recall about this terrible event. They would recall the woman who had pushed that man in front of the train. She had blonde hair and wore dark sunglasses. She displayed a calm expression while everyone around her wore one of shock. And she had hurried away while everybody else had stayed still. There were many unforgettable things about that evening in the train station, and many questions for the witnesses, police and paramedics to try to answer afterwards. Questions like, why did this happen? Who was the unlucky man on the tracks? And most important of all, who was the woman who pushed him?
Chapter 1. Stranger. 3 hours earlier. There aren't many better spots to people-watch than at a London train station in rush hour. You get all kinds of people in a place like this. Young, old, rich, poor, happy, sad. Mainly sad. All of them buzzing about like little bees, desperate to get to their next destination as quickly as possible, and none of them caring about who they have to shoulder barge out of the way to get there. I could spend hours standing here and watching them all rush by. 1, because I have the patience after spending so much time in prison. And 2, because I find it fascinating. Everyone has their own story to tell. Their own tales of love, regret, and bad luck.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?